So, I know I have to make a thesis. Oh, maybe it's more like an argument. I like that word better. I'm going to use that. I don't like, definitely don't like this font. I'm going to change it. I like Georgia instead. It looks pretty. Okay. Well, let's just start with the actual question here. So, I'm just going to take the whole question and just put notes here, kind of mirror it maybe. Yeah, I gotta put that second half in there. Definitely. There's two halves here. Gotta have a connection. Alright, so even though this is not a clear sentence, I'm gonna keep that. Now I gotta make this into what would a princess do? I'm not sure. Well, that works just like that. Make this into a sentence instead of just a thought. There we go. The progression, the female character in Disney princess films from, you need some sort of transition. Let's delete this. Okay, films clear. We need some sort of transition. Shows a clear connection between the women's movement of the century in America from 1932 to 2013. It works. And now I gotta make a connection to the women's movement. I have to make sure that I talk about the full question. That works. Now I need 3 reasons why. I have to make sure that it is part of the formal historical analysis. Who can I use? I'm not sure. Ah, princesses. I wish I was in Disney. Maybe someday. Back to writing. Okay, how about Snow White? That works. Do with the beginning. Then we need something in between. What about... who else could I use? Tiana. That might work. And definitely Elsa. That's the last princess we saw in the Disney movie. But now I gotta make this more specific because people don't know what this is. What if they're not Disney fans? So Snow White from, Snow White and the Seven... How do you spell dwarves? Is it dwarves or dwarfs? I'm not sure. Well, we'll put it in quotation marks. Tiana from Princess and the Frog, right? That's how you say it? I think so. And then, of course, Elsa from Frozen. Now that should be good. It's a pretty good one-sentence thesis statement. I could keep it there if I wanted to. Let's put a little bit more definition to it. Show a time period with all of my examples. We can put maybe a couple of examples so that way each body paragraph will have... Yeah, that's how I could set it up. So my first body paragraph could be early princesses. My second body paragraph could be the change, mid-90s princesses. And then I should add some there. Belle, and what's the other one that's in the 90s? Maybe maybe Little Mermaid? Yeah, that might work. Because there's such a change, definitely, especially in the animation style. So, and then we can put Tiana and Elsa together. They definitely show some sort of growth, the social movements that were happening, and the view of women in the 2000s. So, for sure. All right, so that looks like a good one-sentence thesis statement, although to tell you the truth, that's pretty long. What if I made it into like a four-sentence thesis statement? Maybe. Oh God, this is gonna take forever. Well, might as well do it. Miss Spurnell keeps talking. That's ridiculous. All right, back to this. Yeah, we'll make it a four-sentence thesis statement, which means I'm gonna reference the question in my first sentence, and the next three are going to be each of my supports. So I'm just gonna make these into a few sentences, and that should be good. Perfect. Now I'm gonna make it smaller because I probably shouldn't have 15 font. 12 looks good. Takeaway argument. Now I know that I need to make my thesis statement into the last sentence of my introduction paragraph, but it's such a hard thing to do. I'm going to keep it till the end. So I'm just going to make sure that I know that the introduction goes right here. That way I don't forget. All right, let's go to the body paragraphs. And once I would do my body paragraphs, that would be good. All right, I get ready for my princess thinking, which means put on my tiara somehow, maybe. I'll get it on. And then, yep. Okay, so I now need an introduction just to introduce these early movies and princesses. And I also want to connect to what's happening in the United States during the time with women's movements, social expectations, conformity, all that stuff. So, but here, definitely some sort of introduction. All right, so my first princess, Snow White, she probably was pretty sad. Man, working on all those dang dwarves and making, pies for them. All right, I gotta find something that's gonna support that. All right, so found something from Sally Henson, which means I'm gonna use it. She's a New York Times writer. And so I've got to put this in my own words and also make sure that I give credit to her. So put her name down, put where she's from, New York Times, and then try to put this into my own words and my own interpretation of it without taking it out of context. It's probably clean for them. If I was that way, I'd kick my husband. Horrible. What can I say about this now? I've got to explain it. I've got to prove it. So maybe connecting it with the women's movement? That might be good. Let's make sure we make some sort of transition now to do that. I'm going to reword this a little bit. Maybe put a little bit more detail into it, a little bit more definition. That might be a good thing. It's always good to put more detail in your interpretation. Explain as best you can, because, your reader doesn't have access to it. Gotta get as close to the context as I can without really copying and pasting the quote here. All right. Oh, I need my in-text citation. Remember, Amy, just the author and just the date. Perfect. All right, now the hard part, explaining. I gotta use the words proves and shows. That definitely will help. Now I gotta imagine what it was like for women in the 30s. And now I'm going to make some sort of connection with my prior knowledge. So I'm going to think about women in the 1930s and how I can make the connection between Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and women in the 30s and how she's portrayed, and of what the audience is expecting a woman to do. All right, so now I'm into my second correlating and corroborating source that's going to prove my point again. So I'm going to go back to my thesis statement and use the 1950s and Cinderella. Well, I'm going to stop my process now because it's lunchtime. I'll come back to it, but I think the kids get the picture. I might wear my princess crown in my car and eat lunch.